as keynote speaker and presenters, as well as a reviewer of various journals nationwide. And also from his background, it seems like Dr. Tanzil not also deals with several issues such as biodiversity, bioresources, and environment, and also other multidisciplinary field of knowledge. Dr. Tanzil, without lengthy introduction, I would give the floor to you for your presentation. The floor is.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Linda. Well, good afternoon, everybody, or good day, good morning for you who live in different hemisphere, for instance, in Europe, like Dr. Anden. I'm so honored here to be with you in this virtual seminar hosted by Language Laboratory, Nusa Cendana University, Kupang, Indonesia. I hope this very great seminar will inspire us, uh, will give us new horizons, especially concerning with English language teachings, and more specifically in Indonesian context or English as a foreign language context. Well, in this virtual seminar, I would like to share with you as what the host of this seminar already uh, provide topics of this seminar. Wait a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's online.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Well, as the committee already provided topics, my topic is about teaching and learning English in 2021. What is it like? Well, I think everybody in the world will feel the same experience, get the same experience concerning with today English language teachings. Okay, in this occasion, I want to share with you concerning what happened in Indonesia especially, and I also will share with you concerning with what should we do in the following on the futures of English language teachings. Here we go, my paper or my study. Uh, my presentations will be highlighted in the following lines. First, issues in 21st learnings, and then current issues in English language teachings, especially the experiences during pandemic times, and then suggest ways of ELT, and then cultural issues. In this case, is about intercultural and multicultural. And then the last is about the implications. Well, I think everybody in this virtual room is already concerning with the issues in 21st century learning. What are they? First is about 4 Rs of competencies. It means that everybody or every teacher should have responsibilities in order to help the students in order to acquire and internalize what is called as 4 Rs, which comprises reading, okay, and then writing, arithmetic, and algorithm. Uh, Everybody or the learners, okay, throughout the world should have this kinds of competence. Otherwise, they will fail in order to face their life, especially for the future times. Okay, and in the past, we may just recognize 3 kinds of R: reading, writing, arithmetic. But today, we also should have good awareness in algorithm. What is it? It is about everything's related to what we have today. Okay, everybody should be engaged in gadgets and so on and other things about IoT. And then next is six C's of skills. What are they? Uh, Also, in these kinds of skills, in the past we only have four. Okay, critical thinking and problem solving, collaborations, communication, and creativity. Those are four skills we should teach to our students in the past. But today we have two more kinds of skill. What are they? Okay, character educations. It means that it becomes concerns of education in the world. And the last one is citizen of club. It means that uh, in educations, okay, we should teach our students, we should internalize these issues, these skills to our students. The last is citizens of club. It means that we are one world people. We are one world society. Means that we cannot put aside what is called as racism and so on and so forth. Okay, that's the principles. That's the issues of citizens of globe. Means that we cannot see others as subordinates. Okay, and then we feel we are subordinates. No. Okay, and then the next issues, I think everyone's already aware of it. It is e-learning or online learning, whether in normal and pandemic times. Okay, I'm sure that everybody, okay, today are engaged in this kind of learning. Okay, we cannot neglect it or we cannot avoid it. Everybody should engage in this kinds of learning. Okay, online learning or e-learning. And the last is multicultural and intercultural learning. What is it? I will talk it in detail later. Current issues in ELT experience in COVID-19 pandemic times. We know that at the beginnings of the pandemic, particularly in Indonesian context, okay, generate unpredicted ways of education and learning. Okay, it is the results of the reports done by the United Nations. Okay, that the pandemics give everything becomes unpredictable, right? And including educations and learning, right? You know that not all society, not all individuals are ready to get it, okay, to face these situations. That's why it makes the stakeholders of educations, okay, uh, what get shocked with these situations. And then uh, what we have in this pandemic times, physical distancing policy. And this policy caused the inevitable applications of distant learning, of course, right? It is impossible for someone to meet in persons. That's why what is it? To make the learnings or education goes on, then we should do what is so called as distant learning. And then next is the implementations of distant learning has generated various kinds of learning modes. One of them which utilize IT or Internet of Things, that is online learning, both synchronous and asynchronous ones. Know that, as I told you, that teachers are forced to apply it. Okay, teacher doesn't have any choice. Okay, the only one should do by is that by applying these kinds of learning, okay, online learning, whether synchronous learning and asynchronous ones. Okay. Uh, Before we go further, I want to trace back the commencements of distant learning. Actually, distant learning was related by the establishments of open education, both in secondary and tertiary levels, in the forms of open schools and open university. I think everybody in this rooms or recognize this with this kinds of education. In Indonesia, as you know, that especially in secondary level, we have what is so called as SMP Terbuka or Open Junior High Schools, or SMPT, was established in 1979. I don't know exactly whether some of you already as the what is the citizens of this world in 1979. Okay? Most of them were closed now. Okay, I mean that SMPT or Open Junior High Schools, uh, most of them are closed now, in which the learning program was done by utilizing radio and television at the times. Okay, means that in following the instructions or the teaching learning process, the students and the teacher should what is it, use radio and televisions. Means that the teacher will explain everything, okay, via radio and television programs, and the students will follow the instructions of the teaching progress, the materials, I mean, by hearing or listening to the radio and watching the television. That's what we have, what happened in the past. In tertiary level, Open University was established in 1984. Okay, 5 years later, different from open school, Universitas Terbuka or Open University or UT. Different from SMPT, UT is still being operated and able to metamorphose into cyber university. Today, UT metamorphose into cyber university. Okay, I think in most of region in Indonesia, there is what do we call it? If office, representative office of uh, Universitas Terbuka or Open Universities of Indonesia. In the past time, learning programs were performed in the form of tutorial, in which the students were provided with printed modules. Okay, we know that modules are very, very neat. Okay, very, very details, means that it's easy for the learners or the students to follow the modules, to understand the contents of modules. Okay, that's what we have in Open University. And the elaborations, okay, about the materials were given by tutor, okay, via radio or television. Okay, and then they have a chance to meet each other. I mean, the tutor and or the teacher with the students once a week. Okay, in providing place, especially in at schools, government schools, public schools. I mean, the situation has impacted. I mean, the pandemic. Okay, has impacted the new habituations of learning mode. Okay, that's online learning. However, online learning has not been easily implemented and given various impact. Okay, let us try to see the study done by some scholars about the impacts or the effects of online learning, which already for 1 year. Okay, starting from March, if I'm not mistaken, almost 1 year. First study by Mardia revealed that their excessive challenge in applying e-learning were also undeniable, such as the unavailability of internet access, Wi-Fi. Learners got unmotivated. It is based on the study. Okay, poor levels of student engagement. Okay, and then sorry, students in e-learning system seem to minimize affective domains. Okay. The teacher-students interactive talk were not so effective as what those in normal classroom compared to normal classrooms. That's what Mardia can reveals about the study, okay, done in 1920. Okay, a lot of things. I think mostly are not beneficial impact to the learning, right? And then the other study done by Laili, Setiawan, and Anam, online learning in COVID-19 pandemic positive attitude. It is the other study which revealed that this kinds of learning, online learning, give a positive attitude, give positive impact. I mean, so the practice of readings, okay, this study focused on reading, especially reading digital text in online learning. However, most teachers had misconception. This the other effects of online learning, especially with reading text, digital text. Okay, about knowledge and practice in implementing reading digital text activities in such kinds of learning. The study also noted that all teachers confess that they never receive a particular workshop to read digital text activity performed in online learning. As I told you, because everything came suddenly, and we are not ready for that. Okay, we are not ready for that. Okay, everything done, what is it, unintentionally. And then, what is teaching and learning English in 2020 and on? What should we do? Okay, okay, I think we can, what is it, learn from the experience. What is the lesson learned? First is post-pandemic learning. Okay, based on the experience we have, okay, experience of learning we have in post and in pandemic time can be adopted. We can adopt and adapt everything we have in pandemic time into present learning and on, especially about online learning. That's what we can learn. That's what we can adopt from the experience. Okay. Hope this situation will pass on, and then we will live in normal uh, life again. That's our hope. I'm sure that everybody in this world will have the same hopes, okay, concerning with these situations. Okay. And then the use of blended learning or hybrid learning. Okay, it means that it doesn't matter whether, okay, the pandemic is still on. Okay, we don't know exactly when it will finish. Okay, but I think this experience with us beneficial. It means that we are now familiar with, okay, online learning. Everybody in the world, right? Especially in Indonesia, right? And then based on this, let us try to utilize it properly. What is it? Online learning has relationship with blended learning or hybrid learning. I'm sure that everybody in these rooms recognize this kind of learning, blended and hybrid ones. Okay. Uh, and then the idea of multicultural, intercultural learning. Okay. What is blended learning actually? Blended learning combines the best of two learning environments. Okay, what is it? The first is traditional face-to-face classroom learning, and the second one is high-tech e-learning, or everything's related to Internet of Things. And then by covering all the bases, teacher engage all types of learners, those who learn better in structured environment that include face-to-face interaction with an instructor, and independent types who learn better with semi-autonomous computer-based learning. It means that if we have in a tertiary level, we have 16 weeks of meetings. Then we can divide it into, okay, 8 for traditional face-to-face learning meetings, and the other one, the other 8 meeting will be in the forms of online learning. That's the what is it? Uh, the practice of blended learning simply. And then what about multicultural? Multicultural learning. Multicultural refers to a society that contains several cultures or ethnic groups. People live alongside one another, but each cultural group does not necessarily have engaging interaction with each other. And in intercultural, that uh, it is something different from the first one, multicultural. Intercultural describe communities in which there is a deep understanding and respect for all culture. Okay. Intercultural communication focuses on the mutual exchange of idea and the culture norms and the developments of of deep relationships. In a cultural society, no one is left unchanged because everyone learns from one another and grows together. You know that today, okay, uh, no part in this world which uh, doesn't have such kinds of society. I mean, multicultural society, multicultural society found in any parts of the world today. Okay. And because of this facts, then we should be aware the needs of intercultural communications. And what about cross-cultural? Something which is already was already known by people in the world, especially students from English departments. Okay, because in the past we have such kinds of subject. Okay, of course, cross-cultural deals with the comparisons of different cultures. In cross-cultural communication, differences are understood and acknowledged and can bring about individual change, but not collective transformation. In cross-cultural society, one culture is often considered the norms. Okay, that's different from intercultural ones. And all other cultures are compared and contrasted with the dominant culture. I don't ask whether it is still can be accepted today. I don't think so, right? I think so, we can accept the second one, I mean intercultural ones, right? Things should be taken into account prior to the implementations of online learning. First is that about the readiness of teachers. The readiness of teachers in performing this kinds of learning, because you know that everything's not easy, especially for those who are not familiar with before. And then also the students, you know that in some remote areas, students are hard to engage in this kinds of learning. And then also the parents to be agile to information technology. Why? Because you know that for some level of education, the students is not easy to engage in this kinds of learning. That's why the, what is it? The roles of parents are weighted here. I mean, the parents, in order to help their children's in engaging in these kinds of learning, should be also have a good awareness in the technology used in these kinds of learnings. The second one is the availability of educational infrastructure related to Internet of Things to support online learning. You know that not parts in the world, especially in Indonesian context, that this kinds of infrastructure already available properly. I mean that also not only in what is it, the regions which supposed to be not what do we call it? I don't say that it is left behind now, but I just want to say that Java is the centrals of everything so far in Indonesia. These kinds of things not educated yet. Okay, also in my regions, okay, in Jember, you know, then some parts of the area, okay, these kinds of things are not available yet. That's what we should realize on. Okay, it means that the stakeholders okay, of education should be aware of, and then try to fulfill all the needs of this education infrastructure. And then the next is the third is developments of proper learning management system. Okay, by using the available systems such as Moodle. Okay, this is the familiar one, I think, well-known ones. Okay, almost just in Indonesia recognize these kinds of what is it, applications. For it is related to the questions of quality assurance of learning process. Okay, uh, 3 months ago, I was invited to be a speaker in the seminar talking about the qualifications of learning process, in this case, English language learnings. You know that using any kinds of tools in online learnings, okay, our question, why? Because, you know, we should make sure that the students who learn themselves. What I mean is that, you know, that in online learning, suppose the teacher uses using WhatsApp applications, do those teachers, okay, are sure that the student learn everything themselves? I mean that in answering the question given by the teacher and doing the task given by the teacher, and the students do those things themselves. This what I mean as the questions of quality assurance. Okay. By using learning management systems which built by the schools or by the other stakeholders of the questions, this kind of thing can be warranted well. I'm sure. At least, what is it? The invalidness, okay? Talking invalidness of learning can be reduced by using learning management systems. And then I also propose about multicultural, and then why multicultural and intercultural. I already share with you concerning with the idea, the concepts of multicultural, intercultural, and other kinds of cultural, what's it? I mean, cross-cultural, right? And then you already can understand the difference among them. And then why this kinds of thing supposed to be crucial, right? Language learning is often related to other aspects of the language, such as society and culture. I'm sure that the students of English departments already understands about it well, right? Okay, that's why we should learn about, okay, in the past, cross-cultural understandings, and then sociolinguistics, right? And then language teaching and learning should never be put in isolation with its culture, because the context of every culture is about by its culture. It means that one who learns particular language must also learn the culture of people who speak it. Nobody cannot refuse it, right? This is also valid to English language learning and teaching reality, both as second and foreign language. Okay. Recently, the principle of language learning has shifted from, from cross-cultural to multicultural and intercultural communications. That's what we should realize. Okay. In such communication, if learners are required to communicate with various people from different linguistic and cultural background. This the impacts, okay, of these situations today, right? Multiculturality coincide with the goals of English teaching as lingua franca, and that's to prepare learners to be member of global citizens. I think it is in line with the goals of 21st learning. As I told you, the last C's of six C's is global citizenships or citizens of globe. Therefore, EFL textbook not only should introduce English native speakers cultures, but also involve both EFL learners' home and universal culture. Today, we should live in equal living, all right? In equal life, in equal situations, in equal rights today, right? Study, I want to share with you concerning with the studies on cultural values in ultimate materials. First study done by Dean and Sarifan, okay, which found that with the evidence of the new year depicted in local textbook connected to the notions of that in Vietnam, it laid the first foundation of level English with its cultural conceptualism reflected in the local ELT materials. And the other students done by Indonesians, okay, Setiono and Widodo, on Indonesian EFL textbook revealed that four values, okay, could be identified such as respect of pluralism, respect for the rights of indigenous people, finding peace with nature and with all forms of life, appreciation of culture product, even though they were more multicultural, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, it seems that I should be rushed. And then my recent study, okay, done uh, collaboratively with the other speakers of this webinar series, Ms. Loan from Kalasin University, Thailand. This study addressed the issue of cultural values by investigating English textbooks used in junior high schools in Asian countries. The study featured content and discourse analysis to look at the multicultural values in the textbook. Okay, I hope this study will be published soon. The investigation of the tool was aimed at investigating the multicultural values which were manifested in Asian junior high school textbook, the difference and similarities of multicultural values which were manifested in Asian junior high school of AFL textbook. The study employed content analysis, critical discourse to investigate multicultural values in Asian junior high school textbook. The source of data were the junior high school English for compulsory textbook used in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. In these countries, you know that English has been determined as foreign language. Okay, the data were multicultural values which were presented in the form of text and pictures. Okay, uh, I want to say what you consider with the books. Okay, as the source of data. Junior high school effort textbook used in Indonesia were written and reviewed by Indonesian scholars from various universities under the projects of Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture. And junior high school effort textbook used in Thailand were developed by English native speakers. And then what about junior high school textbook used in Vietnam? Those books were written by Vietnamese scholars, but reviewed native speakers consultant. Okay, I found that the three books used in three different the three countries are different in terms of what is it the pro, I mean in terms of the producing of the three books. Okay, the procedures of data analysis was scheme as follows: gathering text copy picture which presented multicultural values in the FL textbook. The data analysis was conducted inductively in three stages: reducing data, displaying data, and find the data. Conclusion. Based on the results of the analysis, it was revealed that in Thai FL textbook, culture value which were universal once were manifest, for instance, in the book students high grade 1 grade 2 sorry, chapter 1 entitled the challenge, which presented about conversation between three students, two males, one male, who clean cars. At the first, only the two male students, one of them was Afro-descent child, who cleaned the car, knowing the purpose of cleaning at the car, the females decided to join them. They did it to earn money, which will be used to buy computers and send them to African school. Okay, at least from this data, there is a values of spirit and charity, anti-racism, right? And collaboration with which were depicted by the text and picture in the chapter. And what about the data in Vietnam EFL textbook? Multicultural value clearly manifested in the learning material both in forms of text and picture. Various multicultural values appeared as local and universal ones because the culture context used as the material were English native and local ones. Okay, that's what we got from Vietnam F textbook. Very interesting. The culture values could be seen, for example, in students' book of junior high school, grade 7, unit 9, entitled Festivals Around the World, with presented students, uh, sorry, tasked to work in pairs. Okay, the task asked the students to imagine that one of them was from USA and the other from Vietnam. They were required to ask and answer about Thanksgiving and Hoi Mua, a harvest festival in Quyen. Okay, that learning materials, okay, I mean the data contain both multicultural and intercultural values. The students might develop the values of respecting diversity, cultural exchange, and cultural understanding. How beautiful, okay, this the condition, the situation, I mean. And what about EFL textbooks used in Indonesia school? Multicultural values were explicitly manifested both in form of text and pictures. The multicultural values depicted were rooted from local sources. For instance, the dress code were by both adult teachers and parents and child student. Some female characters, adult and child, in the books were dressed on hijab, veil, okay, worship clothes used by women, uh, women Muslim, I mean, okay. It point out that their accepted faith or religious related cultural values as what was embraced by all Indonesian people. In this book, there were also skin characters. It indicated that there were cultural values about diversity, respect, or anti-racism. What is the differences and similarity of molecular value manifested in AFL textbook? Thai, I'm sorry, I have to, because the birthdays was, okay, I'm sorry. The differences and similarities of multicultural values manifested in AFL textbooks, okay? And three countries. Thailand dominated in Thailand, I mean, dominated by English native speaker culture context and related to common universal values. And in Vietnam, combination of native speaker and local cultural context, and Indonesia dominated by local cultural context and mostly related to faith-related cultural values. I think in Indonesian, what is it? Indonesian textbooks seems to be different from the two previous textbooks in two countries. Those values should be intended to develop students' awareness of multicultural values represent textbook because the textbook is value-loaded curriculum document. Okay, understanding multicultural is beneficial for the students in learning and acquiring foreign language in this context, English. Okay, the multicultural values will manifest in all as in junior high school after with some variations such diversity respects, etc. In Thailand, after textbook, multicultural value were from universe contact. In Vietnam, after multicultural value were based on the combination of English experience, cultural contact, and local one, home cultural values. In Indonesian textbooks, multicultural values were taken from local context. And then the implications of this study, teachers and students who read the books will get benefit from this book because they may internalize multicultural values which really should be coexisted with language learning and teaching in this context of EFL learning. We know that in learning language, we not only learning the what is it the rules of them, but also everything related to the language in this case, especially culture. And the implications of this study, I mean these presentations, first is teachers of English should have adequate awareness on Internet of Things, which can be used in administering the instruction or teaching and learning process. This is the first things should be realized by teachers of English. Okay, both as a foreign language and second language. Okay, in uh, these situations, today's situations. And then teachers of English should make sure that infrastructure to perform online learning, whether fully or blended, okay, fully online learning or blended learning, the combinations of conventionals and online one, is provided and well installed. Okay, teachers of English should load cultural values, both English and home native, in their learning materials. And then stakeholder should facilitate the teachers in enhancing their knowledge and skills about online learning and creating their own learning materials. I think that's all. Thank you. And uh, I'm waiting for your questions, or perhaps you need clarifications on this presentation. Again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tanzil. Can you hear me, Dr. Tanzil?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay. The first questions, um, I will read. Do you think the methods and materials EFL teachers use offline can still be properly used online? Let me repeat. Do you think that the methods and materials used by the EFL teachers previously teaching offline can still be properly used when currently we do the teaching online? Maybe the second question, so can you answer two questions in once? The second question, what is the important and necessary for students taking part in online learning? What is the importance and then necessity for students? It means it possible it refers to the role when they're taking part in online learning.
Okay. I'm trying to respond to the questions. Okay. I try to convinced whether I got the points of the question. First is about the methods and materials, okay, in conventional teaching and learning still appropriate or relevant to teaching and learning in online mode, right? And number two, I'm not sure about the question number two.
The
You
question,
help me,
second
please?
question is, what is the importance and the necessity for students when they are taking part in online learning? Is it clear enough, Doctor?
It seems that the connection is not so good, right? Yes.
Maybe you can answer the first question and then I will
Okay,
repeat the second
okay,
question
okay,
after that.
okay. Thank you for the questions. Well, uh, I think it is not about the problems of materials. I mean that uh, the materials used in what is it, conventional learning, okay, don't have. I mean that does not become a hindrance in online learning. I mean that we still can use the materials used in conventional learning in or applied in online learnings. Okay, that's the idea. The idea is that's about. I mean that the problem is that about the mode. I mean that how can we deliver the materials using different mode? Okay, as I told you that it will be what is it, better if the schools, okay, can provide learning management systems. Everything is already there in learning management systems. Okay, specific, for instance, about lesson plans. Okay, lesson plans are already prepared by this by the teacher, put there in learning management systems, and also the materials. Okay, and the students can learn early, I think. Okay, they will say the materials because already there in learning management systems. Okay, then by doing so, okay, I mean that if you can do it, do this kinds of, I mean the schools can provide, okay, the learning management system. I'm sure that the student will learn easily. Okay, because everything's already there, concerning with the lesson plan, the materials, or the instruments of evaluation, and so forth, right? I mean that materials not, it is not a matter of whether it is relevant, no. But what I want you, want to share with you is about the modifications. I mean that in this presentations, I also discuss about multicultural and intercultural values because this issues is very crucial today. Okay, you know that if we try to understand the objectives of 21st century learning, you know that now we should live in peace. We try to live in, we try to build more peaceful world. Okay, and I'm sure that it is a task of everybody in this world, of every individual. That's why uh, as a teacher, okay, or as a learner of English, then we try to give our roles, to take our roles in building this peaceful world by, okay, internalizing our students about the values, multicultural values, intercultural values. That's why this value should be uh, integrated in our materials. Okay, but actually this values can be also, I mean that should be also, okay, a part of our materials in conventional learning. Okay, I mean that uh, about the relevancy of the materials, we don't have problem with that. Okay, whether online learning material can be, yes, of course. Okay, the problem is, I mean, the difference only the way we deliver, okay, the materials, and conventional ones, we deliver the materials directly to students, all right, okay, based on the books, and in online ones, okay, we may put it in our learning management systems. Okay, that's the first question. Hope this answered your questions.
Dr.
And
Tanzil,
yes.
the second question will be read again by my colleague. Hopefully, he has better connection than mine.
Okay.
Hi, I would like to address the second questions by Lisan Dakon Seikau. I hope I don't mispronounce your name.
Mhm.
The second question is, what is important and necessary for students when taking part in online learning? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. Well, as I told you that today, everything, okay, the condition force us to engage in online learning. Okay, we cannot avoid it. Okay, we should uh, engage in this kinds of learning. Otherwise, okay, learning will never occur. That's the problem. Okay, it means that yes, we should take it for granted. Okay, we cannot refuse it. Okay, everybody should accept it. Online learning, I mean, everybody. Okay, but then the problem is that about the availability of infrastructure. That's why, okay, I think we can use other kinds, or we should try to, what is it, to give our own effort in order to perform the learning. Okay, we may have other kinds of, I mean, that we don't have uh, uh, learning management system yet, and then you may use your WhatsApp. Okay, the most important thing that the show must go on. That's the idea that, and of course, when we talk about online learning in normal conditions, I'm sure that based on some studies, this kinds of learning are beneficial to students, right? You know that what is so called as flipped learning. In flipped learning, okay, students are, well, will have opportunity to explore everything because everything is already there. If the flipped learning in the forms of, okay, the materials given before, okay, day or 2 days before, what is it, the meetings, okay, in the classrooms, and then the teacher already provide in the forms of what do we call it, in the blocks, and then the student have chance to learn it before and then try to explore it in the classroom. And I'm sure that this kinds of learning, flip learning, I mean, that will try to, what is it, maximize individual potential in learning. Okay, to conclude that online learning, if we can utilize it properly, will beneficial to instruction, especially to the students in internalizing knowledge and skills. In this case, English learning. Yes, I hope that this answer will uh,
Okay, sir. So we have some questions to go.
yes.
The next question is comes from Peggy Magdalena. The question
Mm-hmm.
is, do you have recommendations for teaching practicum, micro teaching for pre-service teachers through online mode? Some areas have issue of internet connection stability.
Yes, that's what should we think so together. Okay, things of about the availabilities of infrastructure. I told you that no all places, okay, not all places, I mean, have such kinds of structure which support the online learning. Okay, I want to share with you my experience when I should teach in PPG. Okay, you know that before the pandemics, the governments already tried to implement this kinds of learning in the form of hybrid learning. You know that why it was done, because it is impossible to invite all the teachers from the various areas to come to campus at the times. If not mistaken, in 2018 and 19. Okay, uh, I have I had I have this experience for 2 years. Okay, uh, well, it is not easy. It is not easy when we talk about online learning. All right, if all right, we have already built learning management systems, okay, we should make sure that all of things support this kinds of learning, okay. The learning management systems, okay, installed well. That's problem, okay. That is the problem. You know that sometimes they what is it, uh, can could follow the instruction well, but sometimes they could follow the instruction but because okay, uh, the complaints about the connection, okay, and then their homes, that's problem. That's why I know that we realize that in some areas in our countries these things still problems, okay. That's why the most important thing that we still have uh, good motivations, okay, to perform the instruction whatever the condition is, okay. I mean that you still can use your WhatsApp, okay, WhatsApp or any kinds of tools, any kinds of applications, all right. Anything you can do, yes, just do it, okay. I cannot give a recommendation for it because it is related to a lot of things. Okay, we talk about online learning. We talk about a lot of things. Okay, especially the availability of infrastructures support online learning. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Tanzil. Let's give an applause to Dr. Tanzil for his presentations. We do hope that you will keep being with us until the end of this presentation, just in case we
Sure.
still have questions that you can address by the end of the third presentation. Thank you very much, Dr. Tanzil.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Dr.
much,
Tanzil.
everybody.